Hello, Christina Rizzo. Thanks for tuning into this broadcast. Hope you all are doing well and a happy Hump Wednesday to each and every one of you. As if I haven't gotten many disappointing news already, but this is not disappointing. This is good news. As Trump is enforcing law in this controversy that he's cracking down on crime in D.C. I remember there was a stop and frisk thing going on with under Rudy Giuliani when he was trying to clean up New York City, and the crime did go down. They randomly, called out suspects and frisked them, and it diminished the crime tremendously. Why people don't want to face reality about crime, I don't know. We'll do it about age and gender, but when it comes to other, like the appearance of someone, then we want to deny these things. But I remember being in DC, Anacostia, definitely not someplace I would walk alone at night. And the reason I was there, being ignorant, I was doing this tour. I think it was DC and New York. No, it was like an East Coast thing. So I had the privilege, and I wasn't really making that much money. I was probably, well, um, maybe 40 grand, 34, 40 grand a year or something like that. But I did get some chunk back from my income tax. So I would use that money, and when we would have like a spring break or some type of break, because we had the privilege, because I was working at a school, then I would use that money for that to set aside and go out. So I did this for like a few days in DC. I had the privilege to go to Mount Vernon and then see some additional historical sites about American history. And I went to the original Frederick Douglass House. Well, this was in the hardcore of DC, where it's kind of rugged, okay. And as I'm waiting for the bus, because first off, the bus driver didn't even want to tell me where to get off until I saw the house myself. And then on my way back, um, I'm, feeling good now. And all of a sudden, these two girls sit across the street just watching me. And I said, okay, let me get out of here. I don't think a bus is coming. And the bus was actually making a turn, but it didn't stop where in the same corner I was standing. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna walk. And I went back into the museum and asked one of the rangers or whoever, and he just told me how to get to the metro. And it was like on foot, like probably not even a block, maybe a block and a half. And it felt better, but that was very uncomfortable. So this is from BBC, and it states that U.S. National Guard troops have begun appearing on the streets of Washington, D.C., a day after President Trump deployed the troops to the city and took control of its police force as he argued violent crime was out of control. I wish they do this with Detroit and Chicago, Milwaukee too. Armed vehicles were spotted at urban centers and tourist sites around the U.S. Capitol on Tuesday evening. Officials have said that 800 National Guard troops are expected to be deployed, as well as a 500 federal law enforcement agent. Washington, D.C. Mayor Bowser, a Democrat who has denied crime is out of control in her city, of course she would. What did she say? Described the troop deployment as authoritarian push. Authoritarian push. Trump has also threatened similar deployment against New York and Chicago, two other cities controlled by Democrats. I remember having this discussion with someone before and I said, because I haven't lived in Chicago in nearly 10 years. But it said, I told, I think I was sitting, relaxing, having a drink. And you know how when you sit with someone, you just start talking, you know. And I said, yeah, I think it's a good idea. And he said, well, it's just going to cause more, just more crime because they'll respond to the violence. So let's see how the result of this goes. Trump also said crime is on the rise in the cities, including D.C., although analysis by BBC Verify suggests a different trend in D.C. Violent offenses fell after peaking in 2023 and 24. They hit their lowest level in 30 years, according to figures published by DC Metropolis Police. They continue. They are continuing to fall, according to primarily data for 2025. Violent crime overall is down 26% this year compared to the same point in 2024, and robbery is down 28%, according to the police. 2%. Wow. Okay. The camouflage troops have been trickling into the U.S. Capitol since Trump's announcement on Monday. Now, people are arguing that the biggest one was January 6th. And it did trigger some people because I actually got flagged a warning on my YouTube channel when I reported it. They have been seen erecting barricades outside several government buildings and taking photos with tourists. 23 people were arrested by federal agents on Monday night, according to the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. The agents are aiding local law enforcement. She said the arrests were for homicide, gun offenses, drug dealing, lewd acts, stalking, reckless driving, and other crimes. This is only the beginning, she said. Over the next month, the Trump administration will recklessly uh, pursue and arrest every violent criminal in the district who breaks the law, undermines public safety, and endangers law-abiding Americans. So there's a photo of a young lady that's out there patrolling the streets. So let's see how this works out. And if it is successful, not only will Democrats be upset, but they cannot make excuses when he proceeds in these other high crime Democratic cities. And while they're at it, he can go to the West Coast too. Christina Red So, pray for our nation, our brothers and sisters under the persecuted church. And may the all nations be saved under the finished atonement of Christ, so that we won't have to face the death that we deserve, due to his finished atonement on the cross to shed his precious blood to pay our sin debt in full. May the Lord bless you, keep you, and may his light shine upon you, and I'll talk to you as soon as the Lord wills it.